All right, this is our video for chapter 3, lesson 3. This is going to be really fast because you already know the basics for adding integers, and that helps us to subtract integers, believe it or not. So today we are going to talk about subtracting integers. You need to start in your note packet on page 3, about halfway down the page. Look for this note. It says, when subtracting integers, always be sure to. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what to write in that blank in just a second, but I need to tell you something. This is the most important note in this video. You're going to hear me say it 100 times. I need you to say this line 100 times. If you do not understand it, ask questions about it tomorrow because this is important. So, the key to subtracting integers is actually to change it to an addition problem. And we have a little rhyme that helps us to remember how to do this. And that rhyme is add a line and change the sign. So what that means is when we see a subtraction sign, when we see a problem like 2 minus 7, we're going to attack that minus sign. We're going to add a line to it. That's going to make it an addition sign, and we're going to change the sign of the following number. Okay, you'll see this a bunch of times. Let's take a look at an example. Our first problem here. 5 minus 9. So this is a subtraction problem. The second number is bigger than the first number. And when we see this, we know that we're going to get a negative answer. So because of that, we want to handle this as if it's an addition problem. So instead of 5 minus 9, we are going to add a line to our minus sign. Now that makes it 5 plus 9, but that's not an equivalent expression. 5 plus 9 does not get us the same result as 5 minus 9. But you know what does? 5 plus negative 9. 5 plus negative 9. So we added a line and then we changed the sign of the next number. Never touch this number here. Always leave that. If it's positive, leave it positive. If it's negative, leave it negative. It's always attacking the minus sign and then changing the sign of the next number. So let's see what this looks like. 5 plus negative 9. We'll build this really fast. 5 positives, 9 negatives. If you do not have tiles like this at home, I encourage you to just draw plus signs to represent the positives, draw minus signs to represent the negatives. So there's my 5 positives, my 9 negatives. I already know how to handle this. Each one of these is a 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair. So they all cancel out to 0, to nothing. And my final answer is what's left over. That means 5 plus negative 9 gets me a final answer of negative 4. Okay, 4 negatives are left. Couple more problems here. I'm not going to build all of them like we did here. We're going to start solving them more mentally. But we are going to show how to handle that minus sign. So read the problem out loud. Negative 3 minus 6. When we say the word minus, we know we have to add a line and change the sign. So it changes to an addition problem, but it keeps the expression equivalent. Negative 3 minus 6 is the same thing as negative 3 plus negative 6. They mean the exact same thing. So 3 negatives plus 6 more negatives, they have the same sign. So I'm going to add my numbers together, and I know they're going to stay negative, right? 3 negatives plus 6 more negatives gets me a total of 9 negatives. Let's see another one. 4 minus negative 2. This is my favorite type of problem to do because it looks really complicated, but once we add a line and change the sign, it's not hard at all. 4 minus negative 2. We start attacking when we read the word minus. We're going to add a line to make it a plus sign. And now we have to change the sign of the next number. So changing the sign, this is already a negative 2, so to change the sign, we have to make it a positive 2. Well, now this problem is 4 plus positive 2. We've been solving problems like that since elementary school. 4 plus 2 is 6, and that is our answer there. Let's see another one. This is an even better one. We've got so many signs going, it's very confusing. It's really, really not. We read it out loud, -3 minus -5. We start attacking when we see the minus sign. Minus, we add a line to make it plus, and then we change the sign of the next number. Again, this is already a -5. Change the sign to make it a +5. Our new problem is -3 plus 5. Remember, we're not actually changing the meaning of the problem. We're just rewriting it as an addition problem. So we're writing an equivalent expression, and we're just going to get the same exact answer that we would have gotten, just in easier terms. 3 negatives, 5 positives. We're going to make 0 pairs here. When we make 0 pairs, we're subtracting them away. So that leaves us with 2 positives left over. There's my final answer for that guy. Okay, so big important phrase for this lesson is add a line and change the sign. We start when we see the word or say the word minus. We attack the minus and make it a plus, and then we change the sign of the number that comes after it. Practice that for me. Practice that phrase. Here's what you're going to complete for me for tonight. You're going to finish just questions 10 through 13. Not too many tonight. Just do a couple of them. We'll do more in class tomorrow. I want you to make flashcards for chapter 3 in case you haven't done so. So far, your big words are integer, opposite, and zero pair.